Alrighty guys, welcome back here to another tropical update, my friends. I hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful day out there. Happy June 30th here. Hope everyone has had a very restful weekend out there. Well, a lot has happened, you could say, since our last little update here on the tropics. It's gotten pretty wild out there. As you may or may not know, the storm is a Category 4 currently. With sustained winds of 130 with gusts up to 160 miles an hour. So we're gusting up to Cat 5 strength here. The central low is down to 958 millibars as of the last update here from the Hurricane Hunters. And this thing, unfortunately, is going to strengthen a bit more by the time it reaches areas out there in the Windward Islands. So, like I said, when it comes to it, this thing's getting pretty wild. Let's just go ahead and say that. Anyways, everybody, let's see who we've got here for today. We have all the music. We have, let's see, JE551. We have Tabletop. We got ourselves No Name. We have Jenny. What's up, Jenny? We have Debbie. We have Christina. We have Scott. We have Dixie. We have Isaac. We have Pierce. Let's see. We have Tom. We have Jennifer. Let's see here. Got Stacy. We got ourselves Dusty. We have Black Label. We got, I think that's everybody. If everybody else who is not chatting, hope y'all are doing good as well. So, yeah, like I said, this thing is definitely picking up some activity this morning. This morning, this thing did some rapid intensification here overall. Now, unfortunately, as the time we reach tomorrow morning, we are expecting this thing to pick up a bit more strength. Like I said, currently this guy, we have sustained winds of 130 miles an hour with gusts up to 160 currently. With the central low of 958. Now, as we continue to roll our way here to the west, overall, like I said, we have ourselves a bit of increase in those winds expected here overnight. So right around 2 in the morning, there's a possibility that this storm could have sustained winds of 145 miles an hour, with wind gusts there up to 175. Absolutely incredible. So as the storm continues rolling west, it's expected to make that landfall there, right there kind of for the, right around noon or so. Kind of the late morning, early afternoon is when we're expecting that landfall to occur. It does look like the most likely areas here to get landfall is just these little islands out there towards Hillsborough. I'm not sure the name of this island here. Overall, I have a map. My girlfriend, she gave me a little desk mat a while ago, and it has all the stuff on. I wonder if it says anything. Oh, it doesn't show it. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So these lower islands out there towards like St. George's. Let's see, Grenville on the very far southern Windward Island there. We got ourselves areas like Charleston. We got Ashton, Hillsborough. out there towards like Windward. So obviously, yeah, for the Windward Islands on the very far southern side, that is where we are expecting that landfall to occur. That is where the models have kind of pinpointed. So once again, you guys in this area, kind of final last call for preparations, really. You guys really need to be prepared for the storm. I mean, this thing's right up on your doorstep now. You can see it's not that far away. The eye of the storm here is currently about 260 miles or so away from you. So it's getting close. It's getting close. Now, as we continue to roll our way to the west here, the storm, might weaken a little bit. According to the Hurricane Center, drop to right around 140 sustained with gusts up to 165. It'll continue rolling west, downgrade to a Cat 3 by the morning of the 2nd. It'll continue to be a Cat 3 for a while until it starts to get near areas like the coastal regions of Haiti, as it gets near towards like southern coastal regions of Haiti, and as it starts to approach areas near Jamaica. It'll be right around a Category 2, kind of an upper-level Cat 2 is kind of what we're expecting. Now, there still is a possibility that this storm could make a direct landfall over Jamaica, although it does seem like the most probable track of this storm will have it just south, meaning the eye wall will just remain to the south, or the central, I should say the eye, will remain to the south, more than likely. But you're still in the cone, which means the center could still theoretically go over Jamaica. We'll look at the spaghetti models here in a little bit. So now this thing's starting to kind of threaten areas out there in the Yucatan Peninsula. Obviously, if you know anybody in the Yucatan Peninsula, there's a chance that this thing could hit as a Category 1, maybe Category 2 as it approaches the Yucatan. It'll continue rolling west and possibly re-enter the Gulf as a tropical storm. That does seem to be a good possibility here. So it eventually will work its way into likely the southern Gulf. So this thing at this point in time does seem like it will kick up back in the Gulf. Now what it's going to do here, still kind of unknown. It's in the very far end of the track. We'll get to that here in a little bit. Now also we have some new development here. We have this guy, Tropical Depression 3 has formed. This will be our third named storm. This is actually expected to become a named storm here pretty much tonight. Tomorrow morning, we're expecting this thing to be a tropical storm. Just as it makes landfall right there towards San Rafael, we're talking, sustained winds of 100, sorry, I'm used to talking about Beryl. No, sustained winds of 40 mile an hour, so just low-end tropical storm force with gusts up to 50 as it moves its way to the west here. And like I said, we're expecting landfall to be tonight, across these regions here along, eastern coast here of Mexico overall. So we have new development there. Let's go ahead and take a look here at, let's see, depression. There should be here somewhere, unless I'm blind, and it's, where is it at? Is there a mesoscale floater on it? Hold on, let me try. Can't be meso 1. Okay, let's try, maybe goes, meso 2. That's got to be Beryl, right? Yeah, so we're confused. Is it on goes 18? Is it on goes 18? I don't think it is, right? Here, you know what we're just gonna do? We're just gonna do this. This might work. If I just pull up the Gulf of Mexico Central, maybe. Hopefully that'll work. Let's see here. Yeah, Hurricane Andrew was a fast-moving storm. Of course it doesn't work. All right, you know what? You know what we're gonna do? Maybe this will work. I'm running out of options here. Anyways, okay, well, there it is. The storm is formed. It's supposed to be a tropical storm by tomorrow morning overall. So we'll definitely continue to watch it overall. Yeah, I'm just surprised. Maybe Atlantic Basin has it open. I'm just trying to find a satellite imagery that's actually available for that system there overall. Let me try one more time. We'll do IR. Hopefully long wave will work. No, unfortunately it won't. Okay. Anyways, we tried. But yeah, so regardless, like I said, low-end tropical storm there upon landfall towards San Rafael. So just a bit of a heads up there for you guys overall. So let's go ahead and hop on over here to the Hurricane Center. We got some new development here for y'all that we are going to go ahead and take a look at there. Let's see here. Dixie, thank you so much for the $5 Venmo donation. That is greatly appreciated, my friend. Thank you so much, Dixie. Wherever you're at in chat, thank you so much for that. That's greatly appreciated. That is very sweet of you. Thank you so much. That is awesome, my friend. Anyway, so here's the current track here from the Hurricane Center. Obviously, the M is standing not for mature, but it stands for major hurricane. Currently is a major hurricane. Once again, it's currently a Category 4 storm with sustained winds of 130 miles an hour, 130 mile an hour sustained winds. We're gusting, I believe, up to 160. Yeah, 160. And this thing is moving west-northwest at 18 miles an hour. Now, across the Windward Islands out there, we do have ourselves like I said, hurricane warnings in place out there for some of the main islands, such as, here, let me bring up back over to mesoscale too. But that's out there towards, the Barbados. You guys got hurricane warnings also for this. Oh, shoot, I probably should change my scenes here. It might help. Tabletop, thank you, dude. Appreciate it. North Carolina, we'll look at that in a second. Hold on. So, yeah, like I said, towards the Barbados, as well as this island down here towards Scarborough. You guys are inside of, like I said, hurricane warnings, as well as all of these islands here. And we start to get our way up into tropical storm warnings for this island out here. And then we have a tropical storm watch for, let's see here, for this island here. So that's currently where all those watches and warnings are in effect here. But let's go ahead and hop on back over here. So yeah, like I was saying there, those are all hurricane warnings in the red there, meaning that hurricane conditions are imminent across the region. The dark blue is tropical storm warnings, including like the Trinidad area. You guys have tropical storm warnings, meaning that tropical storm conditions is expected. Actually, new development since last update. We got a new tropical storm watch. A new watch in effect out there for southern Haiti. As well as portions of like the western, kind of southwestern coast here of Dominican Republic. Tropical Storm Watch is in effect here for some of those regions. They're saying that tropical storm conditions down in time is possible overall. So that is that. All right, tabletop. Let me do this real quick for you. Nothing big for you, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Today you got a little marginal, no tornado threat, just a little bit of gusty winds possible. Let's see here. Tomorrow, nothing, and the day after, nothing. So you're good, man. Nothing too big going on for you. But anyways, yeah, like I said, this thing will continue rolling to the west now. This thing's going to be right on the doorstep of Jamaica by the afternoon of Wednesday, okay? So, once again, I want Jamaica to definitely be preparing if you haven't already. Like I said, this is definitely going to be still a very strong hurricane as it approaches near Jamaica. We're expecting this storm to be right at upper level Category 2, lower NCAT 3, likely by the time it reaches out there towards Jamaica. So Jamaica obviously needs to be paying attention to it. You guys are, like I was saying, you guys are still in the cone. There's Jamaica. You guys are still in the cone, so theoretically the eye can still go over areas out there in Jamaica. So like I said, keep an eye out there for Jamaica. More than likely, like I was mentioning here overall, the center or the eye of the storm is likely going to remain south. If I was to put money on it, I'd say it would remain south. But you're still in the cone, which means there still is a possibility that the eye could go over Jamaica. Regardless, heavy impacts are expected in Jamaica, and you still need to prepare for it out there. Dixie says, you're welcome, and thank you for the reporting. No problem. Once again, thank you, Dixie. I appreciate your donation, my friend. That's very sweet of you. Thank you so much. Helps out a lot. Also, I also want places out there towards, like, let's see here, out there towards, let's see, the Cayman Islands here. Yeah, I want the Cayman Islands to be weather aware as well. They're actually inside of the cone as well. Regardless, honestly, for a lot of places out there, and even like southern, like Cuba, while you're not going to have, direct effects from the storm, you will have some indirect effects more than likely, like rip currents, some, rough seas and stuff like that. Because, like I said, hurricanes, especially of this strength, in the waters that they're in, will allow for those waters to become very choppy. And will allow for those waters to definitely get a little rough out there. So, like I said, I want you all to be prepared, even out there towards like southern Cuba's coast. Same thing, obviously, for Haiti's coast. Same thing for Dominican Republic, and even out there towards the coast of Puerto Rico. Now, like I said, Puerto Rico's not expecting any direct effects really from this storm here. However, like I said, some coastal issues could still be a problem for those regions, as those waters are going to be knocking around. Given how strong those winds are and how rough it'll make those seas, essentially. Let's see here. When do I think the first hurricane that hits the U.S.? We don't know, cows. Obviously, that's up to Mother Nature. There's no way of us knowing when the first one to hit the U.S. is going to be. Hopefully not anytime soon, of course. we don't want any hurricanes. Now, like I said, this one here, particularly with Beryl, still currently is not having any form of threat towards the United States in any form of way as of now. So that's good news. As of right now, there's no form of any threat for the United States. However, we're starting to add areas out there towards the Yucatan Peninsula in an area of concern. It looks like, with the latest guidance with the models and stuff like that, that it does seem that we are going to have that landfall possibly taking place again in places out there in the Yucatan. So we'll have to see that, and it'll likely be a Category 1 or a Category 2 as it slams into the eastern side of the Yucatan Peninsula. So my folks out there in the Yucatan, just keep an eye on it. Be weather aware, be prepared out there, as it definitely does seem quite likely that you guys are going to be having some impacts as well out there in that region overall. So let's go ahead and take a look here. I do want to go ahead and hop y'all over to the fun stuff, or the models. I know a lot of y'all are curious about the models. Now, here's some new developments with the models, okay? Now, I want you to take this lightly, because, like I said, these models are, they're only good up to a certain point. But let's just go ahead and take a look at them. Here's the spaghetti models, my friends, the latest run of the spaghettis, I would say. So the latest spaghettis here has, obviously, the Windward Islands and the Lesser Antilles out there being impacted. Yeah, that'll happen tomorrow morning. So late tomorrow morning into early tomorrow afternoon. That's when we're expecting landfall. I will be live to cover that. Then it'll continue rolling its way into the Eastern Caribbean. At this point in time, like tomorrow, it'll start to cause a bit of coastal concerns out there towards like Puerto Rico and some of those other islands. The southern, strips of beaches will definitely be feeling all that. Now, like I was mentioning with everything, it does seem like at this point in time we are likely gonna have that landfall here, that pass by just south of Jamaica. Here, let's bring up my pen here for you guys. So this will likely just be to the south of Jamaica overall. Let's go ahead and get some markings there. So yeah, there's Jamaica right here. Most of the hurricane models are to the south. So more than likely the eye will just pass south of Jamaica. But like I said, there's still going to be some nasty effects out there for Jamaica. If you haven't already, I still want you guys to be prepared out there. Still want you guys to be obviously weather aware, and make sure you have all your essential items. Now, we're about 72 hours away roughly from impact out there towards Jamaica, actually a little earlier. So I do want you guys to be preparing, if you haven't already, for Jamaica. And also, I want you guys to start preparing out there towards the Yucatan, okay? As it does look like another landfall will take place in the Yucatan Peninsula. Now, you might be wondering, well, Andrew, what happens later on? So, hurricane models are suggesting the storm going over the Yucatan and crossing back into the Gulf waters. At this point, I think that's a good possibility. This thing will likely go back into the Gulf waters. Now, there is a chance. I'm not saying this will be its 100% trajectory, but there's a chance that it could impact portions of Texas or even eastern Mexico down in time. Now, this is a little far-fetched, as this is multiple days away. It should be taken lightly for this time being. Really, at this point in time, we just need to focus on these areas here. Regarding the track, we need to focus especially on the Lesser Antilles, as they're under immediate danger right now with the storm getting ready to pass by tomorrow morning. And of course, next up would be Jamaica, some of those southern coastlines out there towards, Dominican Republic and, Haiti could have a bit of an issue there too. Then it'll be an issue possibly there for the Yucatan, as it does look like potential landfall does seem quite possible. So once again, we definitely need to pay attention out there towards the Windward Islands, first of all, going into the Jamaican regions, and then, of course, towards the Yucatan. But like I said, what happens after this is still a little hazy, but it does look like that it has a good potential, of tracking its way into the Gulf. Now, here's some GFS ensembles. This is the American GFS model. Shows a lot of those spaghetti models, once again, carrying up into the southern Gulf. So that's what I'm saying. It's starting to seem like that's a good possibility. We'll continue watching that as it goes through, but like I said, at the current time being, since there's still a lack of, a lot of model trust and agreement overall between strength and track there, we really just need to be focusing on this area for now. But like I said, as the models become a little more clear with all that, then we'll start talking about all of that mess. Here's another model. This is the GEPS. Now, these are ensembles. This is one model with a bunch of little runs. And you can see that they scatter all throughout the Gulf. So like I mentioned, what I do want you guys to do is, obviously, if you're out there towards the Gulf Coast, the western Gulf Coast, I would definitely say to prepare for this. Now, my folks out in Florida, for you guys wondering in Florida, is this going to cause any concern? More than likely, no. More than likely, no. So my Floridians here, I think we're good, my friends. Yeah, I don't think it's going to come anywhere near us. So we should be golden with that. It'll likely stick to the west if it does impact. So at this current time being, obviously I want the Yucatan to be under alert. Also the eastern coast of Mexico and maybe even some of the Gulf Coast to watch this closely. There's a lot of things that can change as we continue to roll our way down throughout the next couple of days. This thing's still at least 5 days away till it reaches, the Gulf and these waters here. So it's still a little ways away, and there's still a lot of things that it can do by the time we get to those, or we get to that point in time. So once again, just keep an eye on it. But as of now, there's no reason for, like I said, there's no reason there for, any panic or any concern out there. So that's that. Another thing, here's the intensity guidance chart according to the hurricane models. Now, these are the spaghetti models, although just plotted on an intensity map. According to the spaghetti models, we're going to see sustainability, if not a little bit of strengthening, as it works its way out there towards, the Windward Islands, and then it'll start to ever so slowly weaken as it continues on that westerly movement overall. So you guys can kind of see here, regarding how far it is out. These are in hours, by the way, so forecast hours. So 24 hours from now, for example, which is right here, we'll be right around, still low in Cat 4, overall. So that is kind of what we're seeing here. So that's the latest spaghetti models. You kind of got to grab that central point there, kind of get an estimate between the two, or between all those models of what it kind of could potentially play out to. But yeah, that's it. Once again, if y'all are just tuning in, storm's a Cat 4, man. Cat 4. It's been a Cat 4 since this morning. Central low of 958 with sustained winds of 130. By tomorrow, like I said, upon landfall, we are expecting this storm here to get to sustained winds of 145, which, you know what that means. That means it's 12 mile an hour short from a Cat 5. Now, I don't think this storm will be a Cat 5 still. I still don't believe it, for the people who's wondering. No, I don't think this will be a Cat 5. I think it's going to maximize at a Cat 4. I remember I was telling you guys, was it yesterday or the day before, that I think it would get into lower end Cat 4. I mean, that's kind of where we're at now. So, obviously, it did it. It did it. But I don't expect it to go any further, much further. I don't expect it to get into Cat 5 realm. So don't anticipate on that happening, okay? But anyways, y'all, let's go ahead and jump on over here to the main models. Let's take a look at it. So we were looking at the spaghetti models and stuff. Let's go ahead and focus in on these guys here, like regarding the models, like the HWRF model run. So here's the HWRF. This model has this thing, being still very strong. Obviously, by the time we approach the Windward Islands out there, we're talking a central low. According to the latest HWRF model run, around a 958 millibars. Now, when it comes to it, this will be making that landfall. This shows right around 11 a.m. Eastern. That's whenever that eye wall is going to start to pierce into some of those islands there overall. So yeah, it'll be between between 8 and 2 p.m. Is whenever we're going to have that landfall there. At this point in time, we'll still likely have a well-developed eye, as we've been seeing with the storm here, pretty well symmetrical. This thing will definitely still be trucking along as it continues to roll to the west here. Now, hopping back, as we continue our way into the Eastern Caribbean, the storm, according to this model, unfortunately, is going to strengthen a bit. Now, here is Haiti. Now, this is Haiti down here. This is Eastern Jamaica. If we take a look at that lower level wind field, at this point in time, there still could be maybe some tropical storm force winds out there towards the coast of Haiti. Obviously, the hurricane force winds are in this area here. But yeah, some of those tropical storm force winds, according to this model, could reach its way out there towards Haiti. Hence why we have tropical storm watches out there for Haiti's coast. Because, it's a possibility we could get some tropical storm force winds. Now, Jamaica, definitely, I think the southern part of the country here is going to really be affected, especially out there on the southeastern side of the coast. I think that's where the greatest potential of impact is going to be. As you can see, we can have some really, really strong sustained winds rolling across the southern coast there of Jamaica. Then it approaches near the Cayman Islands here, right around the 4th overall. Right around the 4th here, about, kind of early, just before sunrise, around 5 a.m. By the way, you guys can follow time up in the top right. I should have probably told you all that before. But yeah, so out there by the Cayman Islands could be a bit of a concern for the 4th, as tropical storm conditions does seem definitely likely. And then, of course, as we approach our way here for the evening of the 4th into the early 5th, that's kind of when we're going to have that landfall potential again out there in the Yucatan Peninsula, rolling over, obviously weakening quite a bit, then kicking back into the Gulf out there, where it could, maybe pick up some more intensity. We'll have to just continue watching that. It's a little far-fetched. So, overall, that's that, my friends. Let's see, Christy, coming with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Christy. I appreciate that very much. Saying, don't forget, wait, hold on. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Well, thank you, Christy. I appreciate that. Like I said, that helps out a lot, my friend. Thank you so much. That is very sweet of you. So, yeah, according to this model, though, it'll be coming a pretty close approach out there towards, obviously, Jamaica, especially the south side out there. Especially a pretty nasty effect for, the Cayman Islands. Overall, could have a bit of an issue. And, then, of course, for like July 5th, it could be an issue there. July 4th and then July 5th, it'll be a problem for the Yucatan Peninsula overall. So that's the HWRF. Now let's hop to another model. This is the HMON. This is another model. So whenever it comes to this guy, this model has it kind of taking a similar approach to what the HWRF model had to say. The HMON has that landfall maybe a little bit later. Right there around noon. Right there around noon is kind of when we are expecting that landfall to occur out there. So we'll have to watch out there. Jenny, coming in with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Jenny. That is awesome. That is greatly appreciated. Jenny, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. That is very sweet of you. Thank you, Jenny. You don't realize how much that means to me. Thank you for the support. That helps me out a lot. I appreciate it, my friend. So yeah, HMON, like I said, does have this thing slamming into the Windward Islands there for the morning of tomorrow. Like I said, we'll do some live coverage for you guys tomorrow on it. Obviously from tomorrow morning into tomorrow afternoon overall. This model kind of has it oscillating actually. So as it rolls into the Eastern Caribbean, it's going to be kind of oscillating between essentially strengthening and weakening of a trend here. I'm kind of curious on why. Let's see here. There's plenty enough moisture, so it's not a moisture issue. You know what it could be? It could be a bit of a upper level shear issue. Let me check on the... Here, let me hop over to Western Atlantic, and we'll look at the 200 millibar wind shear. Actually, you know what? We're going to do the 200 to 850. Okay, so the problem is it could be battling maybe a little bit of wind shear. You can see that little jet there. That might be causing it to weaken a little bit. So, as we work our way out there towards Jamaica, there might be a little bit of wind shear. Yeah, that'll eventually be a problem as it rolls into the Central and Western Caribbean, causing it to weaken. So that is why this thing is set to weaken as it approaches towards the Lesser Antilles. It's not because of the waters. The waters are still definitely warm enough at this point in time. Also, the like I said, there's a plenty enough amount of moisture as we've seen overall. And of course, whenever we mention it, the only thing that's left is wind shear, and that's it, man. That's what's going to do it. So we got that jet of winds there that's going to cause a problem. Christy coming in with a $10 super chat as well, dude. Holy cow. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Christy, for the 10. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Saying, gotta run, paper due. Thanks for the coverage. Good night. Good night, Christy. Thank you so much for your support. That's very sweet of you. Thank you, Christy. You rock, my friend. You guys are very generous. Thank you. Seriously, guys, for your support. It's much appreciated. You guys are awesome. So yeah, wind shear is probably going to allow it to weaken. That's actually why it's expected to drop a few categories as it rolls west, as will be due to stronger winds overall. So Jay Lore coming in here with a $2 super chat as well. Thank you, Jay Lore. Appreciate it. Saying taco. Thank you. Appreciate it, Jay Lore. You're awesome. Thank you guys. Y'all don't have to do that. It's much appreciated. Just I'm very thankful for y'all. So thank you for helping support me and what I do. Like I said, y'all make it possible. So thank you, seriously, from the bottom of my heart. Do I think Louisiana could get hit by the storm? So as of now, there's no immediate danger for Louisiana. Models they're not really targeting Louisiana. If you're along Louisiana's coast, it wouldn't hurt to monitor the progression of the system because, as we were looking at the ensembles, right? So the spaghetti models, some of the ensembles have this thing maybe, as it tracks into the Gulf, it might pull a little north. It really just depends on a dome of high pressure that's going to be building in there towards the plains. We're going to have a little dome of high pressure building in the plains. Depending on how strong it is, how large it is, where it's at, will alter its path. Now, at the moment, I don't think that there's any danger or any need for worry out there in Louisiana. So as of now, no, there's no reason to prepare for the storm because it's not even threatening you quite yet. Like I said, at this point in time, for the next several days, I mean, the point of where we got to be focusing on is already inside this cone. Anything outside the cone shouldn't worry right now. I mean, this is out to 5 days. I mean, this is where it will be in about 5 days here. So obviously the white here, this white area, this is the cone for the first 1 to 3 days, and this is an extended cone for anywhere from like 4 to 5 days out. So this will be where it's at. It'll be crossing into the southern Gulf as we approach our way there for essentially, for 5 days out. So anything further than that's a little hard on the models. As I always say on my streams, you never really want to go out more than 5 days because models are not really the best the further you go out. So that is, that could be a bit of a thing to watch out there towards the Gulf Coast. But like I said, it's not an immediate danger. There's no need to panic or freak out there. Let's see here. Let's see. Andrew's a Floridian. Isn't it too early to worry about Invest 96L? So if you don't know, guys, there's actually another system following this one. It's another storm we need to watch out there for overall. So that's SPC. Let me bring up NHC again. So there's another storm that we're watching. As you can see, it's following right behind Beryl. So there's Beryl right there. Beryl is currently like I said, Beryl is currently a Category 4 with sustained winds of 130. We got the Depression 3, which is actually expected to become a tropical storm here, potentially, tonight. So by tonight, this thing will briefly become a tropical storm before it hits Mexico. Low-end tropical storm here. Now, Disturbance 1, this is 96L. This is Invest. It's an investigation. Overall formation chance through the next 48 hours. So within the next 2 days, there's a 40% chance that this thing will become a tropical depression or a tropical storm. Therefore, 40%, it's unlikely that this thing will be a named system or anything like that within the next 2 days. Now, throughout the next 7 days, you can see below that, there's a 70% chance. So there is a likelihood that this thing will likely become a depression or a tropical storm within the next 7 days. So that is quite likely. Now, if we hop on over here to the models and everything like that regarding Invest 96L, it's a little disorganized right now, but here's the latest track. Latest spaghetti models for this guy. It's actually following a pretty daggone similar track as obviously Beryl is. So when it comes to it, it's another system we're gonna have to watch. And unfortunately, I hate to bring the bad news to my folks down there in the Windward Islands, but there's a chance that this could hit the same areas, man, that Beryl's expected to. I hate to say that. I mean, you guys are gonna be recovering from the storm here, and you have another one following you. So like I said, we're gonna have to watch this one too. Same thing in the Caribbean. As it continues west, it could become another concern out there, maybe towards Jamaica. It's a little far-fetched for that, but with time, we'll obviously learn more about the system. But for your question, and you saying that is this a concern for Florida? No, this is definitely not. Like I said, this is definitely not going to be a concern as of now for Florida. Like I said, it's too far to tell, really, on if this thing is going to be an issue for Florida regarding 96L overall. So, as of now, no reason to worry about, this system. Now, if you're in Florida, if you want to watch the tropics, it wouldn't hurt. But, like I said, regarding, this impacting Florida, there's no evidence of it being a problem for us yet. Okay? So no need to worry. Regarding intensity on this guy, there's a pretty good chance. Hurricane models, most of them obviously have this thing going in tropical storm status. So yeah, more than likely this thing will become a tropical storm overall. Let's see here. Beryl is a 958 millibar Cat 5. It's a Cat 4 paper dev. Yeah, it's not a Cat 5. It's a Cat 4 with sustained winds of 130. Cat 5 would be sustained winds of 157 plus. Let's see here. Danny says, great channel. I just found you. Love your hat. Let's see here. Please pray for the people. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Danny. Let's see. Michael said, I live in Denver. Should I run the mountain? Yeah, no, you're good, man. Don't got to worry out there. Yeah, definitely don't gotta do that. But anyways, all right. So let's go ahead and hop on back over here to these models again, so like we were talking about. So let's take a look at a few other models. You know, obviously it's good to spread out the models and obviously look at different ones. So we looked at the HMON. Actually, we didn't finish on the HMON, so let's do that real quickly. So with the HMON model, like I said, yeah, we're expecting the landfall there with around a central low of 955, mid 950s. So kind of low in Cat 4. Is expected as it continues rolling here to the west. Now, as we continue down in time, it's going to gradually weaken. As you can see, the pressure becoming in the 970s, meaning the pressure is weakening, or the pressure is rising, meaning the storm is weakening. So, therefore, that will allow for things to calm down maybe a little bit. So you can see out there, there's Haiti's close overall. So there's Haiti right there. According to this model here. This model doesn't show much tropical storm force activity. Still some strong gale winds out there, but yeah, nothing like tropical storm force, according to this model. Now, as obviously we approach out there towards Jamaica, this model definitely does show tropical storm force winds throughout the island overall. Now, this model also does support the center of the storm to be south of Jamaica, so that seems quite likely. Between the models and stuff like that, majority of the models do have this system just passing south of Jamaica. So at this point in time, my friends out there, whenever it comes through, with Jamaica's impacts here, it doesn't, like I said, it's still not ruled out of a direct landfall in Jamaica, but it seems more likely now that the storm's center will pass south of Jamaica. But regardless, either or, there still is going to be some heavy impacts in Jamaica, in which you guys need to watch out for it. So as it rolls west, it'll weaken. Like I said, we're going to have some upper-level winds really start to disturb the storm. Storms, hurricanes, and tropical systems. Whenever you have some strong winds that point at your storm there, it'll actually allow for the storm to weaken. Because essentially what happens is these storms are vertically stacked. They're like a big stack of pancakes. That's what I always represent these tropical systems. So they need to be perfectly stacked, and obviously if they're not fully stacked, then they're lopsided. So if you have strong winds shooting right at a hurricane, it'll actually allow for that vertical stack to slant, which basically causes that storm to wobble and causes it to destabilize and therefore weaken. So that's kind of what's going to happen with the winds. Now, regarding it, it's not going to kill the storm per se, but it's going to weaken it a little bit. And then, of course, like I said, we're expecting another landfall out here in the eastern Yucatan. So Yucatan Peninsula, obviously, you guys need to be preparing for this too. Down in time, we're still not sure where it's going to hit on the coast, but obviously, interest in the Yucatan needs to watch out for it. Then it'll work its way into the Gulf, and like I said, at this point, we don't know what it's going to do. Okay, so it depends really on how strong it still is, how intact the storm is. What everything looks like on the storm. Like I said, there's a dome of high pressure we're watching out there in the southern plains out there by like Texas. Depending on how strong that high pressure is, where it's positioned, and overall, the magnitude of it, that will be a big steering factor for where this storm will eventually lead up. So once again, it depends on the gradient too. Once again, how strong this storm is still going to be at that point in time, as well as, like I said, how strong the high is going to be as well. So there's a lot of factors we still need to iron out here, but obviously the Gulf Coast on the western side, I'd keep an eye on the storm, but there's no reason to prepare for it quite yet because there's no imminent danger as of now for you guys. The areas that really need to be focusing on the storm right now is, like I said, eastern Yucatan, the Cayman Islands out there, obviously Jamaica, and then of course, yeah, for sure the Windward Islands down there in the Lesser Antilles. So that is kind of where we really need to be watching out there for. Anyways, so that's HWRF. We have HMON. So let's hop our way over here to HAFSA. Here's another model here. Now this guy has this thing getting down into the 950s. So it seems like the models are pretty on spot regarding that central pressure being around the 950 millibar zone. Now this is going to be catastrophic, unfortunately, for these islands down here. So make sure you guys are ready for it. Make sure you guys are prepared for it. I mean, this thing's right up on your doorstep. It's coming in close. It'll make landfall tomorrow morning through tomorrow afternoon. So make sure you are prepared for it and already have everything ready to go. You should be ready to go now. So according to this model, it'll actually weaken a bit. It'll actually weaken rapidly according to this model as it rolls to the west here. Yeah, once it interacts with that wind shear, it kind of rips apart that storm overall. According to this model, a lot of our moisture is positioned on the eastern side of the storm, so that could destabilize it overall. Could allow for a bit of drier air to get into that storm, and obviously the wind shear issue is going to be an issue for that. According to this model, which is kind of an outcast because this one's showing around a tropical storm by the time it reaches Jamaica, it's highly unlikely it'll be that strength by the time it gets to Jamaica. Unfortunately, it's likely going to be a Category 2, upper Cat 2, maybe low end Cat 3 by the time it gets to Jamaica. So, but yeah, regardless though, the path is the same as the other models. Once again, having this storm here just south of Jamaica overall, the center of the storm just south of Jamaica. Yeah, obviously approaching the Cayman Islands there. Let's see our lower level dynamics, maybe some tropical storm force winds. Pretty low wind field for this model. And then, of course, becoming a concern for July 4th into July 5th. The transition from the 4th to the 5th out there for the Yucatan overall. Let's see here. Ashton says ACMWF says landfall for Jamaica. Really? Let's look. Let's see here what the ECMWF says. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the latest Euro ECMWF model has this thing showing that. Now, I want you guys to know the European model here is a little bit on the best case scenario type of side of things. I mean, for example, right now this model is showing us at around 990 millibars. The storm right now is actually in the 950s. Hold on, let me double check on that. Yeah, 958 millibars right now, according to the latest Hurricane Center advisory number 9A. So, yeah, Euro's a little bit off. Euro's a little bit off here. It's kind of the best case scenario model, but the track we'll take it. The track shows it going out there towards obviously hitting, scraping right by the southern coast of Jamaica, but still has it just under Jamaica. But like I said, regardless, yeah, impacts are going to be for sure out there in Jamaica. Needs to watch out there for it if y'all are there. Let's see. Football Clip says, regarding Beryl, would there be a possibility that it would take a quick turn as it approaches Mexico and approaches the Texas coast? I'm in Galveston. So there is some ensembles, so models that are hinting that in the long range, but let me let you know that is very far down in time. Anything past 5 days is very wonky when it comes to looking at models. And at this point, 5 days from now, it'll start to be going into the Gulf. So, honestly, I can't really tell you that right now. I would tell you to keep an eye on the tropics, though. Just watch the tropics, keep an eye on it. Obviously monitor the conditions. But, right now, we really don't know if this thing is going to directly hit Texas as of now. So, as of now, it seems unlikely. But we don't have enough data really quite yet. We need to wait for the system to get a little closer. We need to learn more about the storm as it rolls west. Hopefully that helps. Let's see here. That's what I said. Decently intense. Unlikely to go Cat 5 without. Yeah, no, this thing will definitely not likely go Cat 5. I think its maximum strength is going to be probably mid-level Cat 4. And that's right as it approaches the Leeward Islands down there. So, let's see here. I seen a model hit in New Orleans. That's likely an outcast model. Yeah, so there's a lot of outcasts that, So, when you see one model hitting somewhere, there's no reason for alarm. Whenever you start to see multiple models hitting your area, then that's when you become a little concerned. But if it's just one model run hitting your area, don't let it get to you. Models are crazy. Let's see here. Do you or do you not think that it's going to be a devastating hit? Yeah, it will be a devastating hit for the Windward Islands down there for sure. Could be quite impactful out there for, like I said, also Jamaica. Jamaica could get some big time problems with this storm here. Let me bring up the infrared so you guys can see that latest satellite imagery of the storm. I had a pretty well organized eye earlier. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh, that's Meso 2. Let's try Mesoscale 1. This ought to be for... Yeah, this has got to be it. Yep, there it is. Okay, cool. So yeah, here you go. There is Beryl. Had a pretty nice eye here. Got some convection on the eastern side right around 10 o'clock. So right around now. Yeah, so currently, obviously, within the last couple of satellite scans, we just had a plume of convection on the eastern eye wall. Some strong activity with that storm. The eye is not perfectly symmetrical. I think it's undergoing. I think it was undergoing an eye wall replacement cycle earlier, which basically is a short-term weakening just to only get stronger, essentially. Let's see if we have any hurricane hunters. I think they're out investigating the storm here. I know there's definitely missions earlier. So let's take a look at that. Let's see if we got any hurricane hunters, what they're doing. Yes, indeed. Let's see here. We got Beryl as of 2 minutes ago. Let's take a look at the track, or the current hurricane hunters and what they're doing. Let's see here. Okay, so they're on the eastern side of the storm right now. They're over here. They're on the eastern side of Beryl currently. Here's what I'm going to do. Here is what I'm going to do. We're going to take a look here. It's in the cyclone, and the Beryl is currently in storm. Okay. So, let's hop over to my... Wow. Okay. Let's hop over to the main screen here. So this is data coming in from the hurricane hunters. I know it looks like a bunch of graphs and fancy stuff. You probably don't understand. Like I said, for common folk, you probably don't understand what all this means. So let me break down some of it for you. So these are estimated surface winds in that blue chart. Now these are, you can't really see the wind speeds. So let me break this off real quickly. Yeah, so you see surface peak 10-second wind speeds here. This is in knots. We get there right around 98 knots as of that last approach there. As it approached the eye wall, it measured around 98 knots, which that's like Cat 3 strength. Not saying it is a Cat 3. I'm just saying that's what they found with that scan. Let's see here. Pressure, yeah, pressure did drop quite a bit. So if you look over here, you see MSLP, which is mean sea level pressure. Our pressure did dip down on that path right there, right around 960 millibars or so. So that's what the latest aircraft recon here on that mission. Yeah, that's what they're doing right now. Let's see here. Yeah, we got a couple missions. We got this guy going on right now too. This one measured, about 98 knots, or is this the one we looked at? I think it is. Let's see here. This one finished. This one's en route. I think. Oh, this one's going to. I think the one out there in the Gulf. Gotcha. Let's see here. This one's finished. Here we go. This one's in storm. Okay, yeah. So that's the active one. They're flying on the eastern side of the storm right now. Let's see here. Becky says, "Thank you so much." See info family back there. Just info is good for me. Thank you. You're very welcome, Becky. No problem. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Nightbot guys. That's not a real person, by the way. That is a bot. It's just an auto moderator to help out when we don't have many mods on our channel. So just wondered, or just wanted to let you know if you're wondering. Anyways, so yeah. So let's go ahead and go over the cone and everything like that again for the new people joining in here. We're going to give you all the latest updates in here. If y'all are enjoying this, do me a favor. Consider leaving a like and hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. That'll be much, much appreciated, y'all. Once again, I thank y'all for being here. I appreciate ya. So, once again, thank you, everybody. So let's go ahead and go over everything. So like I said, currently the storm right now, as of the last advisory issued from the Hurricane Center a little bit ago, this was at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Advisory 9A was issued. Currently, right now, the storm has sustained winds of 130 miles an hour. So currently a Category 4, lower NCAT 4, with sustained winds of 130, with gusts up to 160. So that is the current winds on the storm. Now this thing's moving west-northwest here. The central pressure is 958 millibars and dropping. Now, as we continue to work our way down in time, as we approach into tomorrow morning, around 2 a.m. Eastern, we are expecting this thing to undergo even more strengthening. At this point, becoming kind of a mid-range Category 4, with sustained winds here of, like I said, 145, with gusts up to 175 miles an hour. It's unknown what the pressure is going to be, but obviously I think it's going to be probably in the mid to lower 950s at that point, roughly. No way to be for sure quite yet until they actually detect it. But yeah, when it comes to it, pretty strong winds, yep. So that's what we got to look out there for overall. So then we continue to work our way out there to the west. Now, obviously, this thing is going to have that landfall in the Windward Islands down here. So there's the Windward Islands. It's kind of hard to see. Let me turn off SAT for a second here so you can kind of see what we're looking at. So, like I said, the Windward Islands here, we're going to take the hit here in the late morning to early afternoon of tomorrow in Eastern time. So that is when we are going to expect the heaviest conditions. This thing's expected to make landfall as a Category 4 with sustained winds around 145 with the gust up to 175. Unfortunately, overall, this thing is going to be quite a heavy hitter overall. So, oh my gosh, dude. No way, man. Jason coming in with $100. Are you serious, dude? Holy cow, Jason. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe, dude. Thank you, Jason. Saying I very much appreciate your hard work. Jason, man. Thank you, dude. Holy cow, man. That is unbelievable. Thank you so much, Jason. You did not have to do that, man. That is really, really, really sweet of you, dude. Wow, man. Thank you, Jason. You rock, man. Thank you so much, dude. You are awesome, man. Holy cow. Yeah, if there's anything I can do for you, Jason, dude, please let me know. Just know I deeply appreciate that. Like, holy cow, man. Dude, I am just blown away. No pun intended. Thank you, Jason. Seriously. That is very sweet, my friend. Thank you. Wow. Yeah, like I said, thank you, dude. I deeply appreciate it. But yeah, what I was saying, though, is like I was saying, here for the... wow, dude. The Windward Islands, we're expecting that impact here for the late morning into the early afternoon overall. So that's when we are expecting, the heaviest impacts overall. We're going to get some of those bands kind of mid-morning here overall. But the heaviest of it's going to be for late morning into the early afternoon for these areas. Now, it'll continue rolling to the west here as a Category 4 overall here. So it'll continue rolling west. It's actually expected, so the Hurricane Center, the latest cone here, actually has it weakening a little bit as it rolls into, or as it rolls past, the Windward Islands there in the Lesser Antilles. It's expected to downgrade into a Cat 3 here. Here for the morning of the 2nd. Okay, so the 2nd here, we are expecting it to downgrade into a Cat 3 according to the Hurricane Center here. We're talking 125 sustained with gusts up to 155 at that point. So we're still gusting very heavily still, regardless. Sustained winds are very heavy. Like I said, this is not going to cause any problems for Puerto Rico. So any of my folks out in Puerto Rico, like I said, there's no direct impacts for you. However, out there in the coast, I want you guys to know out there in the southern coast, overall, out there by, the southern coastline here of Puerto Rico, we're likely going to have some rip currents. We're likely going to have a bit of issues regarding, the oceans. Obviously, we're going to have some big waves out there. There's going to be a lot of, rip current concerns, and we'll have to watch about flooding. I don't know if there's going to be too much flooding quite out there, but there's going to be some rough seas. I'll let you know about that. So then we continue working our way west here as we approach our way into the afternoon, evening of the 2nd. This thing will start to approach, portions out there in like the southern Dominican Republic and out there towards like southern Haiti, basically for the late 2nd into the early 3rd. that is when we are going to see the heaviest impacts start to occur for some of the areas out there by Haiti. Now, like I said, if we hop over back here to the Hurricane Center overall, and if I go ahead and show you, we do have tropical storm watches in effect for coastal Haiti, as well as about the central and western, the southern coast of Dominican Republic. But for the central and western side of the coast, we have tropical storm watches, meaning that tropical storm conditions is possible. Okay, so we'll have to watch out for that. Those impacts is going to be felt here for late Tuesday and early Wednesday. And then, of course, Jamaica is going to really start to feel this here as we approach our way out there to basically the afternoon of the 3rd. We'll do another live stream for you guys for Jamaica as the storm rolls through. But, yeah, definitely, like I was saying, at that point in time, we're going to have, sustained winds here of, like I said, around 110, according to the latest Hurricane Center update here. With gusts up to 130. Now, Jamaica's still in the cone, so theoretically, like I said, the eye of Jamaica, or sorry, not the eye of Jamaica, no, the eye of Beryl theoretically could go over Jamaica, but you can see about 75% of the cone has it just south there of Jamaica. So more than likely, the models we were looking at earlier, most of the models do have this thing being south. So the center of the storm is more than likely going to pass just to the south. But like I said, even with that occurring, there still is going to be some heavy impacts out there in Jamaica. So I definitely do want you guys to watch out for that. Once again, the heaviest is going to be felt right there in the afternoon, right there in the afternoon here of, like I said, the 3rd. So definitely have to watch that. And then, of course, it'll be kind of a problem for, like, the Cayman Islands there. Pretty much overall throughout, like, the late 3rd into the early 4th, the Cayman Islands have to watch out for that. And then, of course, like I was saying, for the late 4th into the 5th, we're going to have another landfall in the Yucatan, which I'm going to do another live stream for that. So I got 3 live streams planned up. First of all, tomorrow morning for coverage in the Lesser Antilles out there in the Windward Islands overall. And then, of course, I'll do some coverage for Jamaica here as it rolls through. We'll do some updates in between, too. So don't worry. We're going to still do updates for you guys, even once it passes through. So, let's see here. Once it hits approximately, how long does it take for it to pass? So, let's go ahead and take a look at some of those models. I'll actually overlay that for you real quickly. Actually, you know what? We're just going to look at it over here for a minute. So we're going to pull up the HWRF model here. This is... all models are relatively on agreement with, timing and stuff like that. So this relatively speaks for most models here. So according to these models here overall, we're going to start to feel the effects, some of those outer bands out there towards the Barbados. I'm still having quite a time trying to pronounce that one. But yeah, some of those outer bands will affect here for basically, let's see here. The evening of today, actually. There could be some of those outer bands starting to reach those areas by, later today. As we approach, maybe like just slightly after midnight here. As we approach slightly after midnight, we're going to have some of those outer bands actually start to impact the Windward Islands. So that's whenever the outer bands are going to start to roll in. So then we continue to right around sunrise, and right as we hit around sunrise, that's whenever we're going to start to get kind of those outer, kind of mid bands, those middle bands, kind of outer mid bands rolling through. And then, of course, as we approach, the late morning into the early afternoon, that's when we're going to start to have, the interior portion of the storm, like the eye wall start to become approaching to those regions. So for late morning, early afternoon for tomorrow, that's when we're going to have the heaviest impacts for the Windward Islands out here, okay? So like I said, that's when the heaviest are going to be rolling through. Now, you said whenever it's going to leave, so it'll start to pull away through. We'll get back into those middle bands, around the kind of the early, kind of mid, probably right around the mid-afternoon here for tomorrow. And then all the storms should be pretty much done by tomorrow evening. Right around sunset, maybe a little after sunset, is probably when it's going to be mostly gone. And then, of course, as it approaches, like Jamaica, overall, we're going to start feeling those effects probably as soon as, like, the morning of the 3rd. So at least we'll have a couple days to cool down for more coverage for you guys overall. Jason says, I hope this helps get you through this tough time, or this tough night of coverage. Thank you, Jason, dude. Once again, man, you are awesome for that. Like, that is just That is unbelievable, dude. Thank you so much, man, for your big donation, man. Like, I am still blown away, dude. Like, you really did help me out a lot. So I deeply thank you for that. Much, much appreciated. Too bad YouTube takes a big chunk. Yeah, YouTube is pretty bad about that. It takes 30% of super chats, which kind of sucks. That's why I have my Venmo also tagged up on our Venmo and our Cashapp tagged on our pinned message there. That way it'll be a little more efficient, I guess. Thank you, but once again, dude, thank you, man. That is unbelievable. Very, very sweet of you, dude. You definitely didn't have to do that. Let's see here. Let's see. Making sure I didn't miss any comments here. Okay, I think we're good. So yeah, that's kind of what we're expecting here with that system overall. Let's go ahead and hop on back here to the Hurricane Center outlook and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and jump on over here. So, like I said, here's the latest update here with the cone and everything from the Hurricane Center here. As of right now, we do have hurricane warnings in effect for the Windward Islands out there in the Lesser Antilles, including some of the Barbados there too. So obviously, you guys are under hurricane warnings in the red. So the red means hurricane warnings, which a hurricane warning means that hurricane conditions are imminent, expected shortly. Which you're going to start to feel those hurricane conditions here tomorrow morning. So definitely be prepared for that. The dark blue areas like Trinidad. Some of those regions out there in the central Lesser Antilles, those are tropical storm warnings in the dark blue, basically saying, hey, tropical storm conditions are expected. So definitely, be prepared in those regions and expect tropical storm conditions. Now, the yellow, these are tropical storm watches. We actually have some of those tropical storm watches being issued already for the central and the south central and southwestern coasts here of the Dominican Republic. Also leading into the entire southern coast here of Haiti. Tropical storm watches, meaning that tropical storm conditions down in time are possible. Meaning to just watch the conditions, pay attention to them. But yeah, once again, the red are warnings, red are hurricane warnings, the blue is tropical storm warnings, and the yellow is tropical storm watches. So, yeah, so that's what's going on there. What do I think of the eyewall replacement cycle going on right now? It's, I was noticing that, how it's wobbling a little bit. Yeah, it's starting to get some more convection out there on the eastern flank with a couple of scans ago. We were looking at infrared just a little bit ago. She's trying. She's trying, dude. But anyways, somebody asked about Jamaica. Will Jamaica get an advisory next Hurricane Center update? It'll be soon. It'll likely be soon that Jamaica probably will get hurricane watches. I'd say it's possible next update. I wouldn't say it's impossible. They've already pushed out tropical storm watches for Haiti and Dominican Republic, which isn't super far away from Jamaica. So we're getting closer. Let's see here. But that's what's going on with that. So, and then like I was mentioning, guys, the latest information here. Once again, we're going to have a landfall of another with Beryl. It'll still be a hurricane at this point in time. It'll make landfall out there in the eastern Yucatan. So my folks out there in the Yucatan Peninsula, you all need to start watching this storm too. Wouldn't hurt to start getting prepared out in these regions as well, because obviously I want you guys to be protected and safe. I want you guys to be ready for it. This is still several days away by the time it reaches the Yucatan Peninsula, but obviously earlier time you can prepare the better, and it does look like more than likely this thing will make a direct landfall out there towards the Yucatan. So just a bit of a heads up for my folks in the Yucatan Peninsula. So the main areas we really need to watch out for the system obviously is the Windward Islands. You guys are under the immediate concern. We need to watch out for some of southern Dominican Republic as well as southern Haiti. Tropical storm conditions possible. Jamaica, really need to watch out in Jamaica. Hurricane conditions, I'd say, is quite possible at this time. And like I said, also the Cayman Islands. Cayman Islands will likely see either hurricane or tropical storm conditions. Depends on what track we take, whatever it does. And then, of course, the Yucatan Peninsula, like I said, when it comes to it, needs to prepare as well. Absolutely. Rainfall potential. So here's the rainfall as of the latest the rainfall forecast from the latest update here. So out there in the windwards, we've updated expect quite a bit of rain out there, 6 to 8 inches or 150 to 200 millimeters of rainfall is expected out there for most of the Windward Islands. There's a potential that we could get some localized areas 8+ out there towards the Barbados. Could be a potential possibility. We'll have to watch it. Eastern Puerto Rico could maybe pick up a couple inches. So I'd say maximum, 50 to 100 millimeters. I think you guys use millimeters out there, so we have the conversion right here, so you guys can see that. Dominican Republic could see a lot of rain out of this too. At this point in time, you can note that this area here, see it's kind of netted. This means lower confidence, meaning it's subject to change. So obviously Dominican Republic here, we're not entirely too sure, but we're expecting at least a couple inches, several inches of rainfall to occur. Let's see here. Danny says, thank you for the answer. No problem, man. Yeah, no problem. Like I said, we're here for you. Like I said, I want to make sure to get out as much information out there as possible, man. Obviously y'all's safety is number one priority, of course, and my goodness, I'm going to do whatever I can to help. I'm going to do whatever I can to help out y'all. So, like I said, you're not alone in this. We're here. We'll definitely keep you posted on the tropics and stuff like that. Here's a little more of a closer view for those warnings that's in place for you guys, so you can kind of see more of where is in those hurricane warnings and where is not. Like I said, the red areas here, these are all hurricane warnings for these islands out there in the Windwards. Trinidad area is under a tropical storm warning out there. We've got one island here in the Central Antilles under a tropical storm watch. I'm not sure what the name of that island is. Let's see here. So that's got to be the... Yeah, it doesn't have a name for it, unfortunately. But yeah, you guys should obviously be able to tell this where this is at. So obviously, yeah. So hurricane warnings here in the red, tropical storm warnings in the blue, meaning tropical storm conditions expected in the blue, hurricane conditions expected in the red, and we got a couple of we've got a couple of tropical storm watches in effect for the central portions of the Antilles, as well as like the central and southern, or the southern coast for the central and western beaches of the Dominican Republic. As well as really like the whole entire coast, southern coast of Haiti has that as well. So those are all the current active warnings, in watches that we currently have in effect for those areas. So just wanted to go ahead and update y'all on that. So, all right, y'all, let's hop on back over to models. You know what time it is. We're going to get on to the models again here. So we got 18 Zulu HWRF model here. So this is the latest and greatest hurricane model we have available to us. So let's go ahead and backtrack a little bit. So like I said, first of all, right now, let me tell you, the storm right now is currently a Category 4, for the people wondering. It's currently a Category 4 with sustained winds of 130 miles an hour, okay? Gusting up to 160 miles an hour. The storm is moving west-northwest here. I believe at 18 miles an hour, moving west-northwest at 18 miles an hour currently. So it's moving. It's moving. Good news is it's not stalling. That's what we don't want. So at least it's moving quite a bit. So that's the current vitals of the storm. So here's the models. Now, let me go give a little bit of a disclaimer. Models, they're not perfect. So one model run you see is not a guarantee of that's how it's going to play out. Just a bit of a disclaimer to let you know, models aren't perfect. They just give you an idea. Models are tools that we use to forecast. They're not miracles from God that can obviously assume everything's going to be right. They just give us a good idea, okay? So we got to make the best out of it. We obviously got to kind of compare these models and stuff like that. So anyways, HWRF, once again, if you want to follow along with the time, it's in the top right there. You can see where it says 5 p.m. June 30th. Let me go and tell you, this is in Eastern Time. Okay, this is Atlantic Standard or Eastern Time here, okay? So we work our way down in time here. Obviously, we're going to start to get some of those bands out there, in the Windward Islands here pretty early, actually, late this evening into early tomorrow morning. We're going to start to see some of those outer bands start to affect those regions. We're expecting the landfall of the system to occur out there in the Windward Islands out there. We're expecting the landfall to occur in the late morning to early afternoon, okay? So this will be happening right around noon or so. That's when we're expecting some of the heaviest conditions to occur out here. So obviously at this point in time, we'll be expecting the heaviest. Now this model shows the central low of this storm being around a 958 millibars, which is definitely a very strong low. You can obviously see if we hop over to the wind field here, we'll be getting some tropical storm conditions. The green is roughly tropical storm force winds. These are sustained winds here. So the green is roughly tropical storm force winds, and obviously, like as we work our way over into like the red areas, that's kind of where we're starting to see hurricane force winds there. So obviously, you can see some of those smaller islands really getting slammed according to this model here. So right around late morning, early afternoon. So then it rolls into the Eastern Caribbean. At this point in time, it'll likely be causing a lot of big waves throughout the Caribbean, and causing a lot of stir up. So there could be some coastal problems like rip currents and stuff like that for like Puerto Rico and stuff like that starting to occur. So we'll have to watch out for that region. So according to this model, the storm kind of strengthens a little bit actually. The storm does strengthen as we approach our way out there towards Haiti. So here is Haiti right there. You can see this is for July 3rd, the early morning of July 3rd here. The storm is going to be probably right just south of Haiti, possibly delivering some tropical storm conditions. We do have a tropical storm watch, as we were just talking about a few minutes ago. So we do have that in place overall. So, yeah, whenever it comes to this, it's going to be just south of, just to the south of Haiti overall. And, of course, we continue rolling our way into the morning here of the 3rd. And obviously through the afternoon and into the evening, we're going to have some serious effects on Jamaica here, where we're definitely going to be having, some really, really strong winds out there overall. Like I said, there still is a possibility that this storm could do a direct landfall over Jamaica. But I'm here to tell you that most of the models have this system here. Okay, we just got a new advisory from the Hurricane Center. We'll talk about that in a minute. But whenever it comes to it here, as it passes just south of Jamaica, I should say most models does have this thing passing south of Jamaica. But regardless of whatever path it takes, if it goes over or if it goes under, there still is going to be some very nasty effects for Jamaica. Obviously, worst case scenario is this thing making a direct landfall over Jamaica. That's where we'd experience the worst of it. So it'll roll through the Cayman Islands here for the morning of the 4th, actually, causing possible tropical storm conditions. This model gets pretty strong with the tropical storm force out there by the Cayman Island there. So when it comes to that, we'll continue watching those regions here as well. And then, of course, this becomes a concern for the Yucatan Peninsula. Now, this model goes a little excessive. This model here shows this thing still a very strong hurricane as it approaches the Yucatan Peninsula here. This is for the morning of the 5th. So this is for late July 4th, birthday to America, into the early 5th. So this will be like, quite a... Wow, look at that pinhole eye there, according to this model. Holy cow. But yeah, it'll be making landfall there for pretty much the morning of the 5th. Now, what happens after is very much unknown. Okay, I want to go ahead and leave it at that. We don't know because this is over 120 hours out at this point, so it's very far out down in time for weather, anyways. So yeah, we're pushing a little under a week at that point. So with all that being said, the Yucatan needs to prepare for this as well. So it's not just the Windward Islands. It's not just obviously Jamaica. Also the Cayman Islands, and of course the Yucatan. You guys need to prepare for this system here overall. And even southern Haiti and portions of southern Dominican Republic should keep a close eye on this storm here as well overall. So that is that, my friends. That's that. Once again, once it crosses into the Gulf, we don't know. It just depends on how strong it is, what it looks like, how intact the storm is. Obviously, what's going on with that high-pressure dome in the southern plains. We'll see. There's a lot of factors we still need to kind of figure out here, over the next several days. But that's according to the HWRF model here. Quite a nasty saw blade, if you ask me. Like I said, these things, they look like saw blades if you play them pretty fast motion. All right, let me take a look at this new advisory here real quickly. Hurricane Center just updated everything, it looks like. Let's see... 8 p.m. Okay, this is not the new update quite yet. Let me check. Yeah, Advisory 9A. Let me check the main page here real quickly. Okay, so here we go. So as of the last update, Beryl is still a very dangerous Category 4 hurricane, so the new update just came through. The central low is 959 millibars, so it actually went up a millibar, probably due to that eye wall replacement cycle that it did. Whenever a storm does an eye wall replacement cycle, it weakens the storm just a tad for a little bit, and then it picks back up. Pressure did go up 1 millibar, I believe. It was at 958, now it's at 959. So, but yeah, same wind speeds. It's still at 130. Nothing's really changed with it, honestly. It's still looking pretty much the same as Advisory 9. So yeah, there's our latest advisory. Life-threatening winds and storm surge expected to begin soon for portions of the Windward Islands. Keep that in mind to my folks out there. So obviously, make sure you guys are already prepared for it. You guys should be prepared for it in the Yucatan. Yucatan needs to prepare for it too, but you guys should be prepared for it in the Windward Islands out there in the Lesser Antilles. And of course, like I said, obviously, areas like Jamaica needs to watch this too, southern Haiti, and portions of Dominican Republic. Okay, so we got to keep an eye on it. Let's see here. 3 tropical systems making landfall at the same vicinity, let's see. What are you talking about there? I'm not entirely too sure. Are you talking about in the Southern Gulf? We had this is our 3rd depression here. We had 2 systems. One was an invest and one was a tropical storm that hit Mexico. This is about to make the 2nd storm to hit Mexico this year. So, yeah. So that's that. Let's see. The advisory update here still hasn't updated on this end. Let's see if I can get a refresh on that real quickly. See if we can update that. Okay. It'll probably come through here soon with that new update. So whenever I get that new cone and stuff like that, we'll talk about it. Okay. Anyways, back over to models. We're gonna take a look back at our models here. So like I was mentioning here, over the next several days here, this is going to be causing a bunch of concerns for the Caribbean there overall. So now we're going to work our way over here to the HMON model. So we were looking at the HWRF model. Here's the HMON. So according to this model, this system's going to be quite strong. Pressure is going to be right around the 950 millibar range, so right there in the mid 950s. The other HWRF model showed that as well for the most part. So pressure is expected to be in the 950s. Now, according to this model, we are expecting this storm here to remain a Category 4 storm. Once again, according to the last Hurricane Center update here overall. Oh, here we go. Got a new update on the system. Oh, interesting. Okay, let me bring you all over here now. Here's a new update. Brand new cone just came out here. All right, so currently, once again, Advisory 10. This just came through here. Maximum winds, so sustained winds right now, we're seeing 130 sustained. So constant winds of 130 by the eye wall, with maximum gusts up to 160. Movements west at 20 miles an hour. Actually picked up a couple of miles an hour there. The pressure went up a millibar. It's at 959 millibars. So once again, as it rolls to the west, as we approach our way out there towards the Windward Islands there, once again, this is for the morning, right around 8 a.m. or so. We'll just be off the coast here of those islands. There's some good news with this latest update. They actually, so beforehand, the last update, it had it at 145 sustained upon landfall. Whoa, that was weird. Did y'all see that? That was the previous cone that just glitched back in somehow. But yeah, the new cone here. Let's see here. Hold on a minute. What did it do? Did it change things up on me again? Let's see here. What's going on here, man? Hold on a second. Let me try to squeeze on. I can't get through it. Buddy. All right. You know what? I think this is a glitched older cone. But anyway, so it's not expected to strengthen much more as of the latest Hurricane Center cone here. So that's good news. So it'll still be right around 130 by the time. I still think it might be able to, pick up maybe a couple more miles an hour by the time it hits the region. Just considering how much time it still has and how it's starting to get back a hold of itself with that, eye wall replacement cycle or being completed almost. Not to mention, the conditions we're in. Near shearless environment with plenty of moisture and warm waters. It wouldn't be surprising if we picked up a little bit more speed. But yeah, we'll go off of the Hurricane Center here. So yeah, we continue working our way down in time. This thing will remain a Cat 4 as we approach our way even through the morning of the 2nd. So it's going to be a Cat 4 for a couple more days here. It'll downgrade to a Cat 3 right here for the evening of the 2nd as it's just south of Haiti. And of course, as we approach near Jamaica, it'll be right around Category 2 strength at this time being. Right there, upper level Category 2 as it approaches there near Jamaica. And then, of course, as it approaches the Yucatan Peninsula, it's going to be near a upper-level Category 1 or a lower-level Cat 2. Then it's going to go over the Yucatan. Obviously, it's going to weaken because it's going to be without water for a while. So it's going to be struggling to stay alive. But eventually, it will go back into the water here in the Gulf. Yeah, look at the thing's glitching here. Which eventually we'll track this thing into the Gulf here. And like I said, from that point forward, we don't know what it's going to do. Like I said, but I do want you guys along eastern Mexico's coast, as well as even like Texas coast, to watch the system. Now, I'm not saying it's going to 100% hit Texas, but I do want you to at least monitor the progression of it. There's no reason for you guys to, act upon it quite yet, because it's still too early for that. But, like I said, it wouldn't hurt to continue watching the progression. Now, for my folks here that also live in Florida, like I said, us over here, I don't think we're going to have any concern with this storm here. I think it's going to stay well far away from us. So, us here in Florida, no need to worry about it. But that's the update there. Obviously, we'll continue to watch. Is that cone updates there? It's for some reason. Oh, there it goes. It came back. There it goes. So yeah, it's going to be right around a 65 mile per hour tropical storm. So still an upper level tropical storm as it rolls back into the Gulf there. So we'll just have to continue watching its progression. There's a dome of high pressure that's going to be in place, possibly out there towards the southern plains, which might have a steering mechanism to cause it to go a little more north. We'll see. Like I said, that's something we're going to have to monitor. But once again, that is way too far out for forecasting right now. So we're just going to leave that alone for now. But yeah, just really the main areas we need to watch currently is obviously the, like I said, the Lesser Antilles out there by the Windward Islands. Like I was saying, out there, of course, in Jamaica. Of course, there by the Cayman Islands and even like southern Haiti. Portions out there towards the southern coast of Dominican Republic too, and of course the Yucatan as well. Did I see the new convective burst? Probably not. Let's take a look at the sat view. Here, let's load up the last 14 frames here. We'll get a little bit of a view on the storm here. Oh yeah, wow, that eye looks a lot more symmetrical now. Looks a lot better than it did. Here, let me go back a few more frames here. I'll go back 30 frames overall. Let's go and load that for us. Oh, yeah, look at that. Wow. Yep, look at that. So we got a big burst of convection there in the southeastern eye wall. What that means is that the storm is still chugging along. It's still strengthening. Big burst of convection near the eye wall gets things going. So, yeah, absolutely. She's still doing it. You can actually see... Let me turn down the here. Actually, what I'm gonna do here. This will make it a lot easier to see, guys. So let's just change this to the satellite map. It'll make it a lot easier for us to see it. There we go. Yeah, you can see the islands a lot better now. So whenever that infrared loads, and there we go. And we're gonna turn down the. There we go. Perfect. So it's not completely flooding the screen. But yeah, look at that. So here's the Barbados. You can actually start to see some of those outer bands already north of the Barbados. Actually a little band out there. Big avocado I just drew there. Out there just west of the Barbados. Even got a couple, storm-related storms. Hurricane-related storms out there towards some of the islands already too. But would you look at that, man? She's here. Let's go back to 100 frames again. We'll go ahead and load up a lot of these tiles here. Yeah, we had at least the one convective burst here. This is the recent one. But previously we had this guy in the same area. Then it fizzled out. And of course we had that second one there as well. Let's see here. What's up, Crystal? Hoping you're good, my friend. Saying, just got here, haven't looked at the storm since this morning. It looks more southerly. Is Haiti less likely to get a close pass? Worried about them. Okay, yeah, so Crystal, whenever it comes to Haiti, the storm will remain to the south. Yes, the center of the storm will remain to the south. I will let you know, though, that Haiti, for the coast, so for these areas here, we have tropical storm watches in place for those areas. So tropical storm conditions down in time is possible. Let me see if I can get those hurricane warnings. Looks discussion. That might be under the warnings tab, huh? Tropical. Does that pop it up or no? I'm not too sure. Yeah, for some reason it's not wanting to load any of these in this program. But yeah, well there is tropical storm watches in effect out here. There's also a few tropical storm watches in effect for the central and western coast here of the Dominican Republic. So just a bit of a heads up for you guys there too. But yeah, no, we're not going to see a direct landfall in Haiti. They're going to get some of the bands, possibly tropical storm force winds, but the hurricane activity should remain to the south. Jamaica's still in the cone. Like I said, more than likely, I mean, you can see about 75% of the cone is south of Jamaica, while the other 25% is, still including Jamaica. So, obviously, when it comes to it, more than likely it's going to pass south of Jamaica, and that's the way a lot of the models have been talking lately. It does seem quite likely that Jamaica is going to be affected. I think the greatest effects in Jamaica will probably be along, some of these coasts out here. Those are probably going to be the most felt areas. Now, obviously, that's what I'm saying. For all of Jamaica, we definitely need to prepare for it. It's still going to be pretty nasty across a lot of Jamaica, if not all of Jamaica, regarding this system here. So, yeah, definitely you need to prepare for that. But, yeah, you're still in the cone, but more than likely the track will be to south. Cayman Islands, too, got to keep an eye out there for the Cayman Islands. You guys out there is also in the cone. Storm will likely be a lower end Cat 2, lower end Category 2 as it approaches near Cayman Islands there. And of course, this thing will work its way towards the Yucatan Peninsula, where it will likely make landfall as either a lower Cat 2 or an upper level Category 1 overall. So, yeah, so when it comes to it, that's that. It will track into the Southern Gulf. According to the latest advisory here, Advisory 10, which was just issued here at 11 o'clock, we see that the Hurricane Center has the storm still remaining a tropical storm, a fairly strong tropical storm. So we're talking 65 sustained with gusts up to 75. So still is a strong tropical storm. And that's where the cone ends, and that's where there's a lot of uncertainty. Okay, so like I said, we really can't tell you much more about what's going to happen with the storm. After this point in time, there's a lot of factors that will lead to potentially different outcomes. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll leave it on the back burner for now, but those main areas we talked about is where we really need to be watching for. Okay. What's up, Jamie? Hope you're doing good, my friend. Hope you stay safe out there. But let's go ahead and hop on over here back to the models. But before that, actually, I do want to go ahead and hop back over here to the Hurricane Center's overall outlook here with everything going on. So here's the latest Hurricane Center update. So like I was mentioning, actually what we're going to do is this. We're going to go to this one here. So here's the warnings and watches that we have in effect here. So obviously the Windward Islands and areas up there near the Barbados, we do have hurricane warnings, okay? So the areas in red, obviously those are hurricane warnings where hurricane conditions is expected, okay? So we're expecting imminent hurricane conditions in those regions there. When it comes to tropical storm warnings, you have like Trinidad, I think it's Tobago. Once again, I'm not the best with Caribbean, names per se with these areas, still a little foreign to these regions, but when it comes to it, yeah, we have tropical storm warnings out here. And of course, we have a tropical storm warning out there in the central Antilles and across the yellow areas, which includes like coastal Haiti, a bit of central and western coastal Dominican Republic, and like I said, an island here in central the Antilles. Those are tropical storm watches, where tropical storm conditions down in time, could be possible. Okay, so in the red and blue, those are expected hurricane and tropical storm conditions. In the yellow, it's potential tropical storm conditions here. Now, as of the last update, I don't think they extended onto it. Yeah, I think it's the same. They did not include any watches for Jamaica. By tomorrow morning, we'll likely have some hurricane watches probably in effect for Jamaica. So just don't be surprised if you get those tonight or tomorrow morning out there in Jamaica. It's going to happen. We're going to get those watches eventually, which will eventually turn into warnings. So just be aware of that. You're welcome, Crystal. No problem. Let's see here. How far out are the winds? Where? From your area there? The winds right now, currently right now, we are seeing sustained winds with the storm here at 130, with gusts up to 160. Storm's moving west at 20 miles an hour. That's the current vitals. Central low is 959 out there. Let's see here. But I think, I'm not sure. You probably want me to look how far away the winds are from you. Let's see here. Let me... Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, so you're out there in the Yucatan. Okay. So you're in the cone. Obviously, we'll monitor the conditions out there for your region. We'll definitely keep an eye on it. I mean, you're right here. So yeah, you're still a ways away from it. As of now, most of the models have this thing impacting north of you, but you're still in the cone. So we still need to watch out there for your region. But yeah, you're under no warnings or watches anything right now. We'll just continue watching it. It's still a ways away from you. Let's see here. We now have Tropical Storm Chris. Really? Did it update? It sure did. I appreciate that, Jonathan. Thank you for the update. Yeah, I would have missed that. Yep, there you go. Tropical Storm Chris has developed. It's a short-lived tropical storm here. Sustained winds of 30... That didn't update yet. Yeah, it didn't update. But yeah, it's sustained winds of 40, I'm guessing. It's right there. Let me check on that, actually. Yep, sustained winds of 40 with a central low of 1,005 millibars. Let's see here. About 8 miles away from Belize. How do you pronounce that, Jamie? I'm not entirely too sure. I'm not familiar with that area. But yeah, Jamie, keep an eye on the storm there. We'll keep you updated. It's still a ways away from you. There's still a lot of, it's still a little ways away. So, we'll keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it for sure. All right, y'all. Let's hop back to models. We're going to take a look back at these hurricane models here. So we're going to start off, actually, let's look at 96L, actually, real quickly. 96L, according to HWRF, as is staying strengthening as it approaches into the eastern Caribbean. So we have another storm to follow through the Lesser Antilles, y'all. Unfortunately, we're unsure of how strong it's going to be. Probably tropical storm as it approaches towards the Antilles. This will be here for the 3rd. Yeah, it's another storm that we're watching right behind it. So this one's called 96L. It's an investigation currently. We're still kind of watching out for it. Yeah, it has this thing developing pretty quickly once it approaches some of the areas here by the Antilles. So yeah, another tropical system is we need to watch out there for. Plenty of moisture available. So it should have those conditions needed to do stuff, to kick things off here. Okay, yeah. So we'll keep an eye on it, my friend. Belize. Belize. Gotcha. Thank you. Appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for helping me out with the town or these country and town names. They're a little hard for somebody who's not really used to it. All right, but yeah, let's hop on back over here to Beryl currently. So here's the latest with Beryl. Obviously, regarding this thing, we're expecting the landfall to happen here across the Windward Islands here in the Lesser Antilles. This will be making that direct landfall here in the late morning, early afternoon. That's whenever the eye wall here, as you can see, will be right over the islands. So the eye wall is this part of the storm there, which is where your strongest winds are felt. So across that region there, definitely need to be preparing for it. Definitely need to be watching out there for it overall. It'll be there for 11 a.m. So late morning here of tomorrow into the early afternoon. The biggest effects of this storm will be gone pretty much by evening. As we approach our way over into evening time, that's whenever this is going to really kind of start to settle down a little bit. Now, according to this model, it'll actually possibly oscillate a little bit, maybe even strengthen according to this model, being possibly down even stronger into the 940s out there, even south of Haiti. Like I said, out here in Haiti, we got tropical storm watches for the southern coastline, potential of some tropical storm conditions. It's the possibility. The hurricane stuff will be to the south, more than likely. So don't got to worry about hurricane conditions out there, but more into the south. What's up, Popman? How are we doing? Good, man. Let's see, hurricane season getting in full swing. Yeah. We got Chris that just formed out there in the southern Gulf, and of course now we have Hurricane Beryl, which is a Cat 4, Category 4. Sustained winds of 130, gusting up to 160 with a central low of 959 millibars. Let's see. Invest 96L will be Deborah. Pretty sure. Yeah, pretty sure that sounds about right. Crystal says, "Have a good night. Thank you for your detailed and up to date attention on the storm manager." You're very welcome, Crystal. You're very welcome, my friend. I'm glad to help out. Whenever I can, I will. So yeah, according to HWRF, this thing will go south of Jamaica. It seems like that's the latest trend, guys. That does seem to be the latest trend. So the hurricane will, be going just south. We're still not too sure on how close it's going to be to land. I mean, you guys are still in the cone, so in theory, there is still potential of a direct landfall. We haven't ruled that out completely, although it seems less likely now overall. But when it comes to it there, the main of it, according to this model, will be just south of Jamaica. And it'll be pretty strong out there, a little stronger probably because it's not making a direct landfall over Jamaica. If it did, it would lose strength a little bit. But since this model does not show that, it shows the pressure being a little lower out there by the Cayman Islands. Definitely some pretty higher end tropical storm force winds. And then, of course, the HWRF has this thing hitting the Yucatan Peninsula as an upper level. I think it's a cat. Actually, no, this is Cat 3. Yeah, this is right at Cat 3. Around 115 miles an hour, roughly, at this point in time here. And then it hits the Yucatan. And then, obviously, the wind field gets bigger and more unstable as it, has the land effects of making landfall. But then, of course, it'll obviously probably pick back up as it rolls back into those waters. But like I said, that's as far as the model goes. And essentially, that's basically as far as we can talk about right now. We don't know what else is going to do it once it hits the Gulf. My thing is that here in the eastern, out there in eastern coastal Mexico, as well as eastern Texas coast, I would watch the storm. There's no reason to quite start packing and start getting all this equipment quite yet. There's no reason to go out and buy water, I should say, quite yet for Mexico and in Texas, because we don't know if it's gonna we don't know where it's gonna make landfall, but. We'll see. Jamie says it's Debbie. Let's see here. So the next one's Debbie. Gotcha. Yeah, that's nice. Alrighty, but yeah, so that's the HWRF model. So remember, it goes south. It'll affect the Cayman Islands here for around the morning of the 4th. Here it has it. It'll affect Jamaica. Kind of starting here for the morning of the 3rd, going through from the morning of the 3rd until the evening of the 3rd. So basically throughout the 3rd of July is when it's going to affect Jamaica mostly. The effects will be felt out there towards Dominican Republic and Haiti, probably around the late 2nd into the early 3rd. And of course, tomorrow morning, we'll start to feel really the effects. We'll start to feel some of the effects tonight out there in the Windward Islands, this evening. But a lot of it's going to be like right around sunrise and later is when we're going to start to really feel it. Right as we approach noon, that's probably when we're going to have some of the heaviest activity at that time. Yeah, so we're going to have the heaviest stuff happening between late afternoon late morning and early afternoon is that landfall point in time. Okay, so let's hop to another model. We got to compare here. We got HMON, the Haman, the Haman model. So according to HMON, look at that, it goes from 982 to 964, increasing its wind field 2 times. That's past, by the way. So yeah, the model here, as we continue working our way down in time here overall, the system is expected to kind of maintain its pressure according to this model, keeping it in the mid 950s. Honestly, keeping this storm steady. Really not strengthening nor weakening. Really, this model has it just kind of remaining where it's at, around 130 sustained, maybe a little stronger according to this model, about 123 knots. So I think that'd make it 135, 140-ish, roughly. Somebody can do the conversion if you want. But yeah, then it rolls its way once again. Late morning into the early afternoon is when we're going to have the inner eye wall effects starting to affect the Windward Islands out there. So then it's going to continue rolling west here. This model has it weakening, actually kind of oscillating. Has it maybe weakening a little bit, then kind of picking up strength and losing strength here, over and over. It'll approach places out there, the coastal areas will start to be affected here for late July 2nd, going through the 3rd of, like I said, Haiti and Dominican Republic out there. We're going to really start to feel the effects here for the 3rd, all throughout the 3rd across Jamaica. And whenever it comes to it, remember what the HWRF model, the previous model, showed? It showed that system south of Jamaica. This one does too. So the main hurricane models, as well as the cone, obviously is mostly under Jamaica. Jamaica's still in a cone as of now. We're still a little bit of uncharted territory, a little unknown territory, I should say. A little bit of error room, but yeah, it does look like more than likely that this storm will just be shy just to the south of Jamaica. Regardless, obviously depending how close it is, if it's a little closer to Jamaica, the closer the storm, the closer the center of the storm is to Jamaica, the stronger the effects. But regardless, Jamaica is likely going to feel some really, really nasty conditions with the storm. So I want Jamaica still being prepared for the storm here, of course. At this point in time, it'll likely be a Category 2. Yeah, likely a Cat 2 as it approaches near Jamaica. And then, of course, the Cayman Islands out there, it'll be there for probably the late 3rd going into the early 4th. Should be out by noon for the most part on the 4th. Then we shift our attention to the Yucatan Peninsula. This storm has it hitting as, probably Cat 1. Yeah, probably right around Category 1 strength overall. Then it immediately weakens down to a depression or a tropical storm. And then what happens after that, we don't know. So we'll definitely see. Let's see here. Dayton says, thanks so much for your information. You're welcome, man. No problem. Like I said, if there's anything I can do to help out, to help make this a little easier on you guys, feel free to let me know, okay? Like I said, I'm here for you. I want to help out as much as possible and do what I can to help keep you guys weather aware and prepared and all of that stuff. So, like I said, I'm here for y'all. I love you guys. I want y'all to be safe. Like I said, and whatever I can do to help that, I will certainly do. So yeah, that's some of the models there. We're gonna look at a few more real quickly. HAFSA. Here's another weather model having it hitting the Lesser Antilles, the Windward Islands there, lower 950 millibar range. Pretty strong hurricane at that point. It approaches out there towards the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Honestly, not really showing much tropical storm effects even for those areas, according to this model. As this storm has it, or this model has it actually rapidly weakening, unlike the HWRF and the HMON that we previously looked at. This model actually has it weakening a lot to Category 1 or tropical storm as it approaches there near Jamaica. And as it passes Jamaica, it could pick up a little bit more strength just before hitting the Yucatan. And then crossing back into the lower portion of the Gulf. The Cayman Islands there, it'll probably be near Cat 1 strength or so, according to it. We'll see. We'll definitely see. This model's a lot different than those other two models. There's one more model here we'll look at real quickly, and that's the HAFS B model. Another parent model here. This one shows a little bit more of a worst case scenario here. Whenever it comes to it, this one shows upper 940s, so actually the pressure is a little lower, meaning a more stronger storm. Once again, we're going to feel those effects really start to come in late tonight, actually. But like I was mentioning here for the big stuff, the big stuff's not going to happen until kind of later morning. After sunrise is when things are going to start to steadily get worse. And as we approach late morning, early afternoon, that's when we're going to have the heaviest of the effects out there overall. So, and then at that point, like I said, as we approach our way into the afternoon here, you can see the time in the top right, guys. 2 p.m. Eastern, so Atlantic Standard. It'll be right around 2 o'clock p.m. This thing is in the 940s, which is pretty crazy. And then this thing does a rapid weakening trend. So basically from the... kind of from the morning in the afternoon of the morning and afternoon of the 2nd going into the 3rd, this thing does rapid weakening as it encounters some wind shear. Some strong winds out there will be affecting that storm. It has a lot of moisture still for the most part. A little bit drier on the western side, but that shouldn't do too much. But the winds will get to it for sure. Then it picks up more strength again, according to this model, getting back possibly into major hurricane strength again, maybe, as it approaches there towards the Yucatan. Then it weakens and kind of digs its way more into eastern Mexico overall. And it's unknown what's going to happen after that. There's still a little bit of unknown. I guess we'll look at the GFS and the GFS American model and the Euro. We'll just get all the models over with here. So the GFS model here. This is the more of a lower resolution model. This one shows the storm being around 972 millibars. Which right now this model is saying we're at 978. This model's a little off, as you can probably tell. But as we work way down in time, this model does have the storm weakening. Now, here's the thing. Unlike the other models we're looking out there for, this model has it making a direct landfall over Jamaica. Now, the strength is not as strong. This actually has it as a Category 1 hurricane making landfall in eastern Jamaica for 2 p.m. on the 3rd. Obviously, there's no other model that showed that since all the models we looked at. Then we work way down in time. Possible tropical storm or depression as it approaches the Yucatan, kind of weakens a little bit. Then it heads up into the Gulf, where the GFS has this thing getting near eastern Mexico, maybe even like southern Texas, as nothing concerning. Once again, eastern Mexico, eastern Texas. Watch the storm, but no need to prepare for it quite yet. Overall. So. Then lastly, we got the Euro. Now, the European model, this model typically is like best case scenario. It always seems to be. So the ECMWF has this thing literally at like a Category 2 or a Category 3, maybe like a upper Cat 2 according to this model, which, at this point, it's already ruled out more than likely that this thing's going to be stronger than this. But, we work our way to the west here. The storm encounters some wind shear. It weakens a little bit. But this... That's the crazy thing, man. The European model with the track on this storm also has it ramming its way into... whoops, didn't mean to grab a sounding. Also rams its way into South Jamaica overall. So, and then of course continuing moving to the west here, and that's where the model ends overall. I can go back to the longer run. Hits the Yucatan for July 5th, crosses back into the southern southern Gulf. And of course hits eastern Mexico. So that's that. Let's see. Do I use Weather Nerd products? I do. I look at those for ECENS ensembles, which I can pull up here actually. Yeah, actually, I haven't looked at that on the stream yet. So we'll do zoomable tracks and lows, and we'll go ahead and we'll just highlight this area here, just for the time being. We'll go ahead and loop, just so we can get a little bit of a view of what's going on here. So this is the ECENS ensembles, showing the track of the hurricane. Yeah, you can see most of them have it going south of Jamaica there. Then we have 96L, which will be another system to follow, likely weaker. It rolls through there. Let's see. Firebad says, we never get this kind of reporting in the Caribbean, for real. This is great info. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. Like I said, I try to be as helpful as possible. So, like I said, of course, like I said, whenever I can help out, I'll be here to help you guys, of course. But yeah, no, the ECNS ensembles mostly keep that thing south of Jamaica, which, you know, more than likely, yeah, this thing will be hugging the southern coast either, or likely be a little further south. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's impossible for Jamaica to have a direct landfall with this system, but like I said, you know, whenever it comes to it, we'll have to continue watching. Chris formed, yeah, we actually looked at Chris here a minute ago. Yeah, Chris is tropical storm, short-lived. It's not going to last too long. Sustained winds of 40. Nothing super wild. Let's hop over to the hurricane spaghetti models. So here's the latest spaghetti model info. So this is the main hurricane models here. The latest information coming through. So obviously we got ourselves the the Windward Islands out there in the southern Lesser Antilles. You know, we got ourselves that most of the models are actually in fair agreement there. You can see there's a pretty tight area, highly concentrated area going over there. So yeah, at this point we already know it's going to go through those regions. As of the latest hurricane, like I said, as of the latest models here, the hurricane models, we do have ourselves here, most of them having it going just south of Jamaica overall. Like I said, Jamaica, regardless, is going to have some effects here, so definitely need to pay attention for my folks out there in Jamaica. And of course, this thing has a direct impact on the Yucatan Peninsula out there as well. So they'll be there for like July 4th through July 5th is when it's going to land there overall. So that's that. It'll be like July 2nd to July 3rd as it approaches here, going in July 4th and then like July 5th. And then, of course, like July 6th up there. So, still a little ways away in those regions there. But yeah, as you can see, we go further down in time. You can see that it essentially, spreads out more. There's a little bit more distribution, meaning that the models are having a little bit more of a harder time agreeing on each other with that. And at that point, that's where we kind of leave it off. Because, here's the thing. Obviously, the models expect this thing to hit the Yucatan Peninsula. There's a lot of things we need to learn about that. First of all, how strong is the storm still going to be? How organized is that storm still going to be? What the conditions look like. Is there going to be a lot of winds? Is there going to be a lot of or lack of moisture? There's a lot of what is it? There is a lot of things that can contribute to a different outcome overall. So more than likely, yeah, it's going to cross into the southern Gulf. But what it does after that, we don't know. But I would say, yeah, if you're out there in eastern, the eastern coast of Texas, or even eastern coast of Texas or Mexico, yeah, it wouldn't hurt to watch it for sure. But as of now, there's no need to freak out and buy all the water you can out there. I do want you getting supplies if you're obviously in, the Lesser Antilles by the Windward Islands. You should have already had your supplies. Same thing for Jamaica. I want Jamaica to get all of your supplies together. Like I said, southern Haiti, keep an eye on it. There's a possibility out there for, like I said, some tropical storm activity out there. Same thing for portions of the, not Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic out there for the central and western coast. Tropical storm watch is in effect there. Obviously, the Cayman Islands, yeah, you guys will likely need to prepare for this too. It wouldn't hurt to get some supplies ready, but also the Yucatan, yeah, eastern Yucatan, wouldn't hurt to start prepping out there. But anything further than that, it's just a little too far. But yeah, that's the spaghetti models. Here's the spaghetti model intensity chart. It basically shows how strong the storm will be at what hour. So yeah, 24 hours from now, we're expecting the storm here to be, still within lower Cat 4 strength. We're not expecting much weakening or strengthening to really occur by the time of landfall tomorrow. But yeah, it's likely going to peak in its intensity within the next 24 hours. It's likely going to be the strongest within the next 24 hours. And after that time period, the storm is going to encounter some strong winds in our upper atmosphere that is going to help destabilize and weaken the storm a little bit. So that's why the models are trending a down, weakening motion of this system here as we continue down in time. So that's basically for sure at that point there. But overall, y'all, that's the latest with the hurricane models, the spaghetti plots. Here's some more models. These are ensembles. Now, this one has an extended range. Honestly, like I said, we should really only pay attention to this part here, or being generous. Some of these areas. This is really where we need to focus as of right now, is in these regions here. This is just a bunch of scribbles, as you can tell. Some ensembles go over here. It really doesn't know what's going to happen at this point. So it's very scattered. It really has a broad area there. So let's just focus on, like I said, mostly this area here for now. Don't let that alarm you overall. Like I said, that's just ensembles doing ensemble things pretty far out in time, so it's bound to change anyways. But yeah, that's about it, my friends. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, it's about 11:30. All right, y'all. Well, we're probably going to head off here in about 5 minutes or so. So if there's any final questions you guys might have before I roll off here, feel free to let me know. Like I said, if there's any final questions y'all have, throw them down in the chat. We'll be here for you guys. But yeah, we're going to head off here in about 4 minutes or so. We'll head off here at 11:30 Eastern, which will make this a 2-hour-long update with you guys. When it comes to updates tomorrow, as soon as I wake up, I'm going to go live. We're going to do live coverage on the storm here, rolling into the, like I said, the southern islands there overall. Once again, expected to be Category 4, sustained winds of 130 miles an hour. I think it could range between 130 and 140 upon landfall. That's my opinion. I think it could be between 130 and 140. I think a slight upkick is possible. Like I said, don't hold me to it, but I think it could be possible. Maybe a slight upkick, about 10 mile an hour winds could be possible. A little bit of strengthening is possible by the time we approach, obviously the windwards down there. But anyways, like I said, y'all, if you any final questions y'all have, feel free to throw them down in the chat. Before I head off, too, obviously I have got to give a big thank you to our donators here. We had a lot of supporters today. Once again, thank you to the supporters, guys. Like I said, if you do want to support us and what we do and help keep us running, like I said, we have our information there in the description, also there on the pinned message in the chat. You guys can follow that if you'd like to support us. Like I said, not telling y'all to. If you just want to, that's how you do it. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and say a big thank you to our supporters here. We had Tabletop with the support. First donator of the day was Tabletop. Then we had Christy Miller. Thank you so much, Christy. Thank you, Tabletop. Then we had Jenny. Thank you so much, Jenny. We had Christy. We had J-Lore. And then we had Jason with a big super chat. Thank you so much, Jason. But obviously all of you guys. Once again, Tabletop, Christy, Jenny. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, Christy donated twice. So thank you, Christy. I know you left a while ago, but thank you. Thank you, Tabletop. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, J-Lore. And thank you, Jason. Thank you guys so much. You guys are much appreciated. And like I said, you guys help keep me going. I couldn't do it without you guys, so thank you. Let's see here. Yeah, you too, Hutman. Thanks for joining, man. Let's see here. Seems to be going more south of Grenada at this point. Not seeing that the northwest movement. Let's see here. So Grenada is still in the cone of uncertainty. So the eye still theoretically could pass over Grenada. It's not impossible. Overall, yeah, it's not impossible. We're starting to get some of those bands starting to reach out there in the Windwards. So, what's that? Oh, wait, that's... I'm dumb. That's the previous storm that we've been watching. Alrighty. Good night, Jamie. Thanks for joining. But like I said, yeah, guys, next update we're going to do, or sorry, next stream we're going to do coverage on the storm here. So we'll be live tomorrow for you guys. But alrighty, guys. Thanks for joining. Once again, I appreciate you. If you haven't already, please do me a favor, guys. Hit that subscribe button on the way out. Leave a like for me. It'll be greatly appreciated. That way you guys can stay weather aware as well. If you don't know how to subscribe, just scroll down a little bit. It says subscribe. It's free. Like I said, it doesn't cost you a thing. You don't have to sign up or anything unless you don't have a YouTube channel. If you have a YouTube channel, it's just a click of a button. So if you guys could subscribe, it'd mean everything to me. Plus, it'd help YouTube push our content out more, our live streams out more, which would ultimately help this get in more people's hands, which could be very, very, very helpful for them. So consider subscribing, guys. Leave a like. It'll be much appreciated. But alrighty, guys. Well, we just hit our 2-hour mark. Y'all have a great night. Once again, thank you for being here. And alrighty. You guys take care. Be safe out there. Like I said, we'll catch you tomorrow for some coverage, and we'll see you later on. See you later, guys. Thanks for joining. We'll catch you later.